$45 billion for mayonnaise and spices. The global flavor syndicate is real, Maya.
A syndicate? Please. Unilever is taking $15.7 billion in cash and keeping 55% of the equity. That is just brilliant structuring.
Brilliant? They are basically paying McCormick to manage their food aisle.
I will show you the math on exactly why you are wrong. But first, we need to talk about an $80 billion Netflix rumor that makes this grocery deal look tiny. Sabat. The rundown.
$1.3 trillion in a single quarter. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that Q1 M&A number. It's just a massive wall of money hitting the market.
Sure, the bankers are throwing a parade right now. But I was reading that RGP report on the human value gap this morning. You can smash two companies together to hit $1 trillion, but if you underinvest in culture and leadership, the whole thing tanks in year 2.
Culture is just a luxury you worry about after the financial synergy targets are met.
Spoken like a true recovering banker. Tell that to Biogen. They just dropped $5.6 billion in cash for Apellis Pharmaceuticals plus a CVR.
A contingent value, right? The classic hedge.
Exactly. They're basically saying, we'll pay you the rest if your rare disease pipeline actually works. Meanwhile, Eli Lilly is throwing $7.8 billion at Centessa just to get into sleep medicine.
That orexin 2 receptor drug is the holy grail. $7.8 billion is a bargain to corner the sleep market. Everyone is exhausted, Maya.
Fair. Speaking of exhausted, the lawyers on the L'Oreal and Kering Beauté deal finally closed it. L'Oreal locked up 50-year exclusive licenses for Bottega Veneta and Balenciaga Beauty.
50 years. That is a lifetime in fashion. You're marrying the brand, but making sure you don't have to live in the same house.
And keeping the RIA roll-up train moving, Savant Wealth just grabbed Oklahoma-based Exential. That's a $6 billion AUM target.
The consolidation there is relentless, but the rumor mill is even crazier. Google looking at Wiz for $32 billion, Boston Scientific eyeing Penumbra for $14.5, but the whisper that actually made me drop my coffee, Netflix circling Warner Bros. Discovery for $80 billion.
I saw that, and I absolutely don't buy it.
Why not? Netflix needs the IP vault, Warner needs a lifeline, perfect match.
Are you kidding? Have you looked at Warner's debt load? Netflix is a clean, hyper-efficient tech machine. Why would they strap a burning legacy cable anchor around their neck? Plus, antitrust regulators would block it before the ink was even dry.
I think you're underestimating the streaming war's desperation. But fine, let's leave Hollywood alone for a second. We have a much tastier mega deal to dissect today.
I see what you did there. $45 billion for a global flavor juggernaut. McCormick swallowing Unilever's food business is the weirdest, most fascinating deal structure I've seen all month. The big one.
I am still trying to wrap my head around $45 billion for mayonnaise and taco seasoning.
You really need to put some respect on Old Bay's name. But yes, the sheer scale of this McCormick and Unilever tie-up is staggering.
It is the ultimate grocery cart merger. McCormick is swallowing Unilever's entire foods business.
Actually, if you read the fine print, Unilever is kind of swallowing them. Unilever gets $15.7 billion in cash right up front, and their shareholders walk away with 55.1% of the new combined company.
Which is a brilliant piece of financial engineering. I love this for Unilever. They have been trying to figure out what to do with their food brands for years. It is a slow growth anchor dragging down their beauty and personal care multiples. They get a massive cash payout and still hold the majority of the upside.
Wait, you actually think Unilever is the winner here? I completely disagree.
How are they not? They just offloaded their slowest segment at a premium.
Look at the revenue numbers, Nate. The new entity will have roughly $20 billion in combined annual revenue. McCormick is paying a $45 billion valuation for the privilege of taking on a sluggish pantry portfolio. That is well over 2 times sales for legacy food brands. In this market?
You are looking at this like a software analyst. This is about supermarket real estate. McCormick just bought the entire middle aisle of every grocery store on Earth. You control the condiments and the spices. You dictate the margins to the retailers.
The retailers are already pushing back hard with private label brands. But honestly, my biggest red flag is buried right in the middle of the press release. the target close date?
Mid-2027.
Yes, mid-2027. That is an absolute eternity.
It is a massive global carve-out. The integration alone is going to take armies of consultants.
It is an antitrust nightmare waiting to happen. You think regulators in the US and Europe are just going to wave through a global flavor juggernaut? We are going to be tracking forced divestitures of obscure mustard brands for the next 30 months.
Okay, fair. The regulatory friction is going to be very real. But zoom out for a second, this deal perfectly captures the sheer aggression of the market right now.
You mean the fact that global transaction values just hit an unprecedented $1.3 trillion for the first quarter?
Exactly, a record-breaking start to 2026. And while mayonnaise and spices are taking up the headlines today, the real money driving that 1.3 trillion is flowing somewhere else entirely.
Right. We should probably look at what is happening in pharma, because Eli Lilly just dropped $7.8 billion to help us all get some sleep. Voices.
So RGP just put out this report warning dealmakers about the human value gap. They're looking at this record-breaking $1.3 trillion first quarter and basically saying, hey, you guys are buying revenue but completely ignoring culture.
I read that. And honestly, it sounds like something an HR consultant says when they want a piece of the advisory fee. Financial integration is what actually pays the debt down.
Oh, come on. You don't think leadership alignment matters when we're staring down a $45 billion flavor merger? McCormick swallowing Unilever's food business isn't just a spreadsheet exercise.
It literally is a spreadsheet exercise, Nate. Unilever gets a $15.7 billion cash payment. Their shareholders get 55.1% of the new company. That's math, not a trustful retreat.
Spoken like someone who's never tried to merge two massive legacy corporate bureaucracies. The culture clash alone could tank that $20 billion in combined revenue.
I'm just saying, if the margins hold, the culture figures itself out. But fine, let's talk about wild culture clashes. Have you seen the Netflix rumor?
The Warner Brothers Discovery Whisper? Yes, $80 billion. My former banking colleagues are practically hyperventilating over it.
$80 billion for Netflix to buy WBD? I need to see the term sheet on that because my immediate reaction is absolute horror. Netflix has zero interest in managing a decaying cable bundle.
Never underestimate the ego of media executives. If Google can circle Wiz for $32 billion, Netflix can definitely convince itself it needs Batman.
I'll believe it when the SEC filing hits. But speaking of massive entities drawing attention, we really need to look at how Washington is going to react to this McCormick deal. Spill the tea.
Look, you don't hit 1.3 trillion in Q1 deal volume just by hitting singles and doubles. People are swinging for the fences right now.
Swinging blindly, maybe. I saw that RGP report warning about the quote human value gap in these massive deals, which is polite consultant speak for everyone hates each other and the post-merger culture is a disaster.
Oh, come on. Dealmakers don't care about the human value gap right now. They care about the Google and Wiz rumor. $32 billion for a cybersecurity play.
Which actually makes sense on paper. But Nate, you can't look me in the eye and defend the other massive rumor floating around Wall Street today.
You mean Netflix circling Warner Brothers Discovery?
$80 billion for a linear TV graveyard attached to Max. Tell me you aren't buying this narrative.
I'm completely buying it. Think about the IP, Maya. Netflix gets Batman, Harry Potter, HBO. It's the ultimate endgame for the streaming wars. They absorb their biggest prestige rival and get a content library that basically prints money.
Wait, really? You're putting your banker hat on and just casually ignoring the massive debt WBD carries? You're talking about an $80 billion culture clash. Tech bros meeting old Hollywood studio executives. Remember the human value gap we just talked about? This would be the human value Grand Canyon.
You're underestimating Ted Sarandos. He knows how to manage Hollywood egos. Plus, the synergies are undeniable.
I'm looking at the regulatory reality. The antitrust lawyers alone would feast on this for 3 years. It's pure corporate theater to juice the stock price. I'll believe it when I see the actual SEC filings.
Fine, be a skeptic, but consolidation is the only way out for legacy media right now.
I prefer my mega deals to have actual cash flow behind them. Speaking of things that actually make money, we need to talk about the spice aisle.
Ah, yes, the $45 billion elephant in the grocery store.
Exactly. McCormick is swallowing Unilever's food business, and the deal structure is wild. Tomorrow's radar.
Tomorrow morning, that Q1 M&A volume report officially hits the tape. $1.3 trillion globally, just an absurd number.
I am ignoring the macro and watching the antitrust wires for McCormick and Unilever. $45 billion of mayonnaise and taco seasoning. You know someone in DC is already drafting a subpoena.
The FTC is not going to block Mayo Maya. They are entirely focused on tech consolidation right now.
I completely disagree. Grocery prices are a massive political talking point. Creating a $20 billion revenue food juggernaut is prime regulatory bait.
Okay, valid. But the real theater is the rumor mill. Wall Street is buzzing that Netflix is circling Warner Brothers Discovery, an $80 billion blockbuster.
Oh, come on. Netflix buying that massive debt bomb. I will literally eat my microphone if that happens.
I have the hot sauce ready, but everyone is swinging for the fences right now. We will see who actually steps up to the plate tomorrow.